Hi, my name is Bob Brown and welcome to No Particular Topic. I'm going to tell you about something that happened back in very early of 1977. And I was really on the front end of my interests with bodybuilding. And well, I had a friend who was going to be in a competition in Tampa, Florida. So I thought, well, maybe I'll go. But one of the caveats was Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be the guest poser in that. And I'm like, holy cow. I mean, this guy was like my idol. And I said, I'm going. And I had it all planned out in my head, how I was going to meet him and talk to him. And it was going to be incredible. It's amazing how things you plan in your head don't always work out exactly to plan. Let's just say this. This really happened. Let me backtrack just a little bit real quick to give you an idea of how I got into bodybuilding or where it started. In reality, it started when I didn't realize it started. I was just a kid when I saw this Hercules movie, and it starred this guy named Steve Reeves. That guy. Well, I just couldn't believe this. The guy looked amazing, and I don't know what it was. Even at a very young age, I just thought, man, this guy looks incredible. And it was really the aesthetics. I go, man, this guy looks like a Greek god. But anyway, I loved his movies. And then a little bit later on in the 60s as well, probably the mid 60s for me, it was an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies with this guy named Dave Draper. And also, it was a movie I saw Dave Draper in called Don't Make Waves with Tony Curtis. That's Dave Draper. I, I just, I don't know what it was, but I just saw this guy. I'm going like, wow, that guy looks incredible. Move a little bit further forward. And now we're at, what, 1968, 69. And I saw a movie. It's one of these Muscle Beach Party movies. It was really stupid, let me tell you. Anyway, that guy was in it. That's Larry Scott. I almost forgot his name for a second. When I saw that guy, I'm going like, what are these guys doing to look like that? And then I saw him in the Mr. Olympia contest. I didn't see him personally. I just read it in a magazine. And he won the very first Mr. Olympia. And clearly, I got those muscle magazines. I just envied that. And I always said, you know what? I want to be one of those guys one day. So I gave it my best shot. So that's me in 1983. And then now there's another one, 1985. I've shown this or those pictures in earlier videos, but it kind of fits this particular video. Well, as I went through the magazines, I see this guy in there, unlike anyone ever seen before, and that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. When I saw that guy, I go, that's it. That I want to be that guy. Of course, I never was that guy or would ever be that guy, but well, there's only one Arnold Schwarzenegger. And anyway, that wasn't me. So let's backtrack a little bit back to 1977, I mentioned earlier. Well, I got in my car and left Ormond Beach and drove diagonally southwest across the state of Florida to Tampa, Florida for I can't remember the competition, what the name was, but it was some Mr. something or another competition. And that's the one Arnold was going to be the guest poser at. Well, when I got there, I saw him backstage and I did talk to him a little bit. Not much because I wasn't the only one there. I mostly listened as I stood right there. And I was a little surprised. I gotta tell you, I thought he was going to be a lot bigger. But he wasn't a lot bigger because that was the year he made the movie. What was the name of that movie? Um, Stay Hungry. My brain went blank. The movie Stay Hungry. But that's with Jeff Bridges and Sally Fields. And that movie was in 1976. And they made him lose a bunch of weight, although keep the musculature and all that. But they made him lose the weight. I think he was down to 215 for the movie, but he competed at 235 and 240. So I didn't see the huge Arnold, but anyway, it was just amazing seeing the Arnold. You wait outside. Well, my friend was going to get ready for his competition, and we walked backstage, and well, we opened up the door to the changing room. It's kind of a changing room, bathroom type of thing. And there's Arnold. He's in the process of pulling his posing trunks up. I mean, he had nothing else on. And I always had a camera with me no matter what. Even in my regular day-to-day life, I always kept the camera with me and it was hanging off my shoulder. And he just looks at my camera and he looks at me and he goes, "You wait outside. I'll be out soon." And I'm like, shit. So, okay. And so I turned around, went out the door, and then he did his posing routine after a little while. And he looked incredible, by the way. And I know he was lighter, but he still looked incredible at a lighter weight. So then, I'm with my friend again, and I go backstage, same dressing room, same door, walk through it, and there's Arnold again. But this time, he's pulling his trunks down. And I'm like, oh, shit. So he goes, and he looked pissed off. And he looks at my camera and me, and he's like, I don't know what went through his head. Probably the same guy twice. So anyway, he goes, "You wait outside." And I'm like, shit. I turned around, went out the door, ran out to the parking lot, all the way to my 1970 GTO, which was going to take me home. I got in my car and got out of there as fast as I could and never looked back all the way home. Well, that didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to go. Anyway, I thought he was going to kick my ass or something or come after me. I was just a kid, so I didn't know. He probably wasn't going to do a thing, but I don't know. Anyway, now let's fast forward just a little bit, probably about a year. I'm up at my mom's house in Ormond Beach, and it's right next to Daytona Beach. And we went to the Volusia Mall. And at the mall, well, we're walking down the mall and there's a whole bunch of commotion going on. What is that? And I look over and I went, and I didn't respond. And my mom looks and goes, "Hey, Bobby, look. Isn't that Arnold Schwarzenegger over there?" And I go, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, do you want to go and meet him?" And I said, "No." If interested, I do have another YouTube channel. It's called 8 and 35mm Restoration. On that channel, I posted a whole bunch of my old home movies. Some of them I shot in sound and some were silent. Of the silent ones, I did add some music, voiceovers, and sound effects on some of them. I also have a whole bunch of tutorials on how to digitize and process 8mm movies, still photography slides, photographs, and negatives. If you're interested, I did put a link in the description below.